Hello, everybody. Welcome to 2D Board Gamers. My name is Dave, and today we're going to look at Jubilee's top 5 cards I'm looking forward to for Marvel Champions. So let's start with the countdown. Number 5 is Shopping Spree. Shopping Spree is a player's side scheme. Threat cannot be removed from this scheme by heroes or allies. As an alter ego action, exhaust your identity, remove one threat from here. Any player may trigger this ability. When it's defeated, the player who defeated this scheme searches their deck and discard pile for an item card and puts it into play. Now, this is great for Jubilee because she can use it to get her coat, her sunglasses, or the disguise card from Justice. Now, Jubilee's coat gives her +1 thwart, and after you play a thwart event, exhaust Jubilee's coat, and then choose a scheme and remove one threat for each different resource you use to pay for the event. Her sunglasses works the same way, +1 attack, and after you play an attack event, exhaust the sunglasses and deal 1 damage to the enemy for each different resource type that you use to pay for it. Shopping Spree is also great for multiplayer games because, as it says, any player may trigger this, not just Jubilee. So there's currently over 30 items in the game at the time of this recording, from Iron Man's arc reactor to Ant-Man's wrist gauntlets. So there's quite a few targets for this shopping spree. And since it doesn't go into victory display, it can come back multiple times during a game. Number 4 is plasmoid energy. Now, this is 2 different energy types. There are 3 different cards that have 2 different resource types each. In addition to helping with the sunglasses and the coat, these are great for cards that require you to spend a specific resource type, like No Quarter, for example. It costs 2 and it requires a strength. So 2 of the 3 plasmoid energies would pay for that card by itself. And if you play in the Mad Titan Shadows campaign, she's going to love the Shawarma card because that'll give her 1 of each resource. Jubilee is also really good for home technique decks because she's got 2 resources that have mental, so that will help power the aggression events that require home technique. Firecracker. Firecracker is a 2-cost event attack superpower. Deal 4 damage to an enemy. If you paid for this card using 2 different resource types, stun that enemy. Now, it is a superpower, but cards like Def Focus and Helicarrier, which gives you a reduction, will not help if you want the stun. Now, I guess if you're going against a stalwart enemy, then you can include those cards in your deck. But more likely, you're not going to want a Helicarrier or Def Focus in your deck. Now, Firecracker works great with Plasmoid because that has 2 different resources. So you get the stun effect. Another option, if you're playing aggression, is you can combine martial prowess and another non-strength resource card like audacity or aggressive energy, for example. Martial prowess, of course, you exhaust to generate a strength resource for an attack event like Firecracker. In Audacity, after you spin this card, deal 1 damage to the villain. It generates a wild, so you could have that be a mental or an energy. Boom, now you've done 2 different resource types. Or aggressive energy, when you spin this card to play an attack event like Firecracker, that event deals 1 extra damage. So now you're doing 5 damage, and since you use 2 different resource types, you can stun that enemy as well. Flash of Light is similar to Firecracker except for thwarting. So it costs 2. It's a superpower. Remove 3 threat from a scheme. If you paid for this card using 2 different resource types, confuse an enemy, i.e., plasmoid. It is a superpower, so cards like Helicarrier and Def Focus would reduce the cost, but unless you're going up against a stalwart enemy, you're not going to want to do that because you're going to want to be able to confuse the enemy. So to confuse the enemy, yes, you're going to want to use cards like Plasmoid, or you could use cards like, say, Sense of Justice with Determination or Passion for Justice, for example. Another way to pay for Flash of Light is to use Sense of Justice, which you exhaust Sense of Justice to generate a mental resource for a thwart event. So there's one of the resource types. Then you use Determination. After you spin this card, remove 1 threat from the main scheme. So that could be a second resource type. Or you can use Passion for Justice, which when you spin this card to play a thwart event, that event removes 1 additional threat. So you would remove 4 threat instead of 3. So both Determination and Passion for Justice is a wild resource, so that will simulate the non-mental that you need to have 2 resource types. And number 1 is Disguise, which is actually a Justice card that comes in her Precon deck. Costs 1, it's an upgrade. Play under any player's control, max 1 per player. Exhaust Disguise and your identity. Remove 2 threat from a scheme. So this card has got several good abilities. One is that it works great with the shopping spree, or for heroes who like to use their alter ego ability often, or heroes who need a bit of time to build up, like Iron Man, because you can put this under any player's control. Iron Man, for example, he gets +1 hand size for each tech upgrade that he has. So he wants to get his armor pieces, and the best way to do that is with Futurist and like Stark Towers. You have to be alter ego to use those, and you don't need to exhaust. So Tony Stark could be removing 2 threat on the turns that he's trying to get his tech upgrades and armor pieces out. Another great example is War Machine, who needs to use ammo counters for his signature events and upgrades. When he runs out, he has to flip to alter ego so that when he comes back to hero form, he can replenish his ammo counters. Plus, while he's down in alter ego, he can choose a War Machine card from his discard pile and shuffle it back into the deck, and he can use his munition bunker to get more ammo counters. Well, thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe. Hey folks, if you like that, there's more videos and you can subscribe. Thank you.